Good morning to you, and thank you for joining with me today. You must be brave to come down in a 100-mile-an-hour gale like this in a parachute, the farmer said to the young soldier. The young soldier says, I didn't come down like this in a parachute. I was in a tent, and he'd obviously been taken up. Today's Pentecost. It's a time of excitement, of wind and fire, speaking in strange language. It's the very birthday of the church. And you know the story, you've heard it often. The disciples were having a prayer meeting, and suddenly they hear this wind. It was blowing not just outside, but inside. Now, whatever happened that Sunday spilled out into the street. Suddenly, everybody's gathered in Jerusalem, all over the world, and they're hearing disciples tell a story in their own language. And they're amazed, and they're baffled. It was a mystery. And they thought, drink must be at the root of it. Well, today, the church I go to, nobody's going to speak in strange languages. There will be no tongues of fire. If there are, then somebody will come forward to put it out. Today, nobody will be accused of being drunk. Something has changed, and maybe the Christian church worldwide has lost a bit of that fire, has lost the passion. If you really believe in anything, then you've got to be passionate about it. I tell you one thing, I love the person who's enthusiastic about his life or his work or his family or the church or the community. And that was Pentecost. They were alive, they were excited. I had a childhood friend who never really got enthusiastic about anything. We were in our mid to late teens. We hung about Kilbarchan wanting to chat up the girls. And like boys, we were backward. We would talk about them more than talk to them. But for each of us, there was always that dream walking. We were enthusiasts for Mary or Helen or Anne or Joan or whoever. And I always remember suddenly he asked this girl out. We said, but you've never talked about her. We talked and drooled over the girls that we wanted to ask out, but he beat us. And we wanted to know why he never mentioned her by name. And he said, well, if it hadn't been her, it would be somebody else. How about that, ladies? How would you want your menfolk to feel about you? You've got to know that you are the only one. But that was my friend. He lacked enthusiasm for everything. Well, these people on the first Pentecost were alive. They were on fire. They had a message that was positive and earth-shaking. What a contrast to the life of people today. It was a strange day for all who were there, and I think in some ways the world has not been the same since, for a new community was born. I just wonder what God is calling us to do today, and maybe He's calling us to stand up and be counted for what we believe. Whatever we're called to do as a church or as individuals, Pentecost is a reminder that a positive force come into this world. And it is indeed a call to take the love of Jesus to everybody that we meet. It's a simple message, but you know, it's a great message. Thank you for listening to me today, and God bless you.